Good afternoon, Kitchissippi. It is Saturday, April the 26th. This is a video version of the 434th Kitchissippi Weekly Ward Newsletter. As always, I've got lots more information about all the topics that we'll discuss in the weekly email newsletter, to which you can subscribe at kitchissippiward.ca. I'm going to be hosting pop-up office hours this week on Thursday, May the 1st from 1 until 4 p.m. at the Ottawa Bagel Shop. That's at 1321 Wellington Street West. Pop-up office hours are a chance to come by, chat with me one-on-one without appointment anytime during those hours about whatever's on your mind. I hope I'll see you there. In the newsletter this week, I have provided a link to the responses that the candidates sent me in reply to my Kitchissippi-centric federal election survey. So the 4 candidates for the major parties running in Ottawa Centre were asked to reply to those. I have their replies now online. You can find those at kitchissippiward.ca. I have a link in the newsletter. We have an interesting minor rezoning that is being sought at the Whisper site. That is at 249 Richmond and 372 Tweedsmuir. You may remember recently we approved I think it was a 9-story development for that corner, replacing what is currently the Whispers restaurant. The developer has come back to ask for some minor rezonings to the stepbacks and the setbacks. I think some of the parking provisions as well. This will be another one of those minor rezoning processes, authority for approval of which rests delegated with staff, unless I choose to force it to a vote of our planning committee. I haven't taken a close enough look yet to understand whether or not finally I want to force that vote. I suspect that I will not, but I have all the information about the application, the opportunity for residents to provide their feedback in the newsletter. All of the information is up on the DevApp site if you want to take a look at that. The Committee of Adjustment is coming up on May the 7th. Again, I think I had noted this in my last video. At 256 Northwestern, the applicants are seeking to subdivide the property into 2 separate parcels to establish separate ownership for each half of the semi-detached that is currently under construction. I assume that that will go through fairly quickly. On May the 21st, Panel 1 of the Committee of Adjustment will meet again. At 214 Cowley, there's an application to permit a reduced side yard, increased eave projection, and front-facing garage for the conversion of a carport to a garage and the construction of a second-story addition on that. And at 196 Clare, the owners are seeking to subdivide the property into 2 parcels for the construction of a semi-detached dwelling with front-facing attached garages, a reduced corner side yard setback, and increased building height. I have all the details about those 2 applications following the link that is in the newsletter. And late last week, I received the decisions from the April the 16th meeting. As I would have expected, at 123 and 125 Carruthers, the consent application for subdivision went through, and as well as did the minor variance associated with that property. Interestingly, at 100 Hamilton Avenue North, the application for a whack of different minor variances associated with that one was refused. I know the Hintonburg Community Association had some really significant concerns about that and made a presentation to the Committee of Adjustment, so that was refused. We'll see whether or not that now goes to the Ontario Land Tribunal through an appeal. And another reminder, OC Transpo on May 3rd, 4th is going to be free. So on all of the para and bus and LRT lines for the weekend of May 3rd and 4th, you'll be able to get on without charge. Great opportunity to try out Line 2, Line 4 to the airport if you haven't already. Line 1 is great, gets all your favorite destinations by transit for free during the weekend of May 3rd and 4th. A number of community events to talk about. In Hintonburg, there's going to be a Jane's Walk on May the 3rd. It will be a guided walk through historic Hintonburg at 10 a.m. on Saturday, May 3rd in English, and at 10 a.m. on May 4th in French. The walk is being organized by the Hintonburg Community Association History and Heritage Committee. You can go to the Jane's Walk site. I've got the link in the newsletter in order to register for that. And in Wellington Village on May 3rd, Dave Alston is going to be doing a Jane's Walk on Saturday, May the 3rd at 1 p.m. He's going to cover the incredible history of the Byron Avenue and its linear park. It sounds absolutely delightful. They'll walk from Holland Avenue to Kirkwood Avenue, covering all the history from the farming era through street crawl trolleys and some what-if scenarios as well. Again, you'll need to register for that through the Jane's Walk site. The Broadview Book Bonanza is coming up on May 1st through 3rd. That's an excellent used book sale that's going to be taking place next week. The public hours are May the 1st from 4 until 8:30 p.m., May the 2nd from 10 a.m. until 8:30 p.m., and May the 3rd from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. Please note, it is cash only. The Friends of the Farm is hosting a plant sale on May the 11th. Find everything you need for your garden at this popular annual plant sale with many of the region's top specialty growers and nursery vendors assembled in one location. The Master Gardeners of Ottawa, Carleton, are also going to be on site. The sale takes place on Sunday, May the 11th from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine, in the parking lot just to the east of the KW Neatby building that is at 960 Carling Avenue. I have a link in the newsletter for more information about that one. And I've received word from the Westboro Farmers Market that is back on. It's going to be held on Saturdays from May 17th until October the 25th. The market is extraordinarily popular. It is on Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. starting this year on May 17th. It's really located at the corner sort of Golden and Byron, stretching down the Byron Linear Park. I'm sure I'll see many of you out there often this summer. At City Hall, there are a number of important meetings that are coming up. The Audit Committee is going to be meeting on April the 29th. Its main consideration is an audit of the enforcement camera programs in Ottawa. That's our red light and our speed enforcement camera programs. The Auditor General has asserted that $10.7 million in revenue that could have been transferred to the Road Safety Reserve Fund wasn't because of some accounting changes in the way the city deals with that. My understanding is that the city treasurer says actually that money did go in, but there's a lot of questions the councillors have around how these decisions were made, how these decisions were communicated to council and to the public. I know my colleague, Councillor Johnson, has an excellent post about it on her College Ward website. So I expect that I'll be there along with many other councillors asking questions about the accounting behind the speed and red light enforcement camera programs. City Council is going to meet on April the 30th. I think it'll be a relatively uncontentious agenda. We'll probably mostly just confirm the various decisions coming out of the committees over the past couple of weeks. I have the full agenda at the link online. There is one intriguing item. It's an in-camera item. We're going to be dealing with negotiations around a potential property acquisition. So my curiosity is piqued. Those aren't discussed in open session for obvious reasons, but I will be interested to hear on Wednesday what that is. The Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee has a meeting on Thursday, May the 1st. It's a fairly straightforward agenda. It will include approval of a new source water protection septic inspection program. We have a responsibility to make sure that septic systems don't interfere with drinking water. In Greeley, they are proposing at a cost of around $40,000 per year through a 5-year cycle to inspect, and I'm sorry, I can't find the number. I think it's somewhere around 128 septic systems divided evenly each year into 5 in order to ensure that the septic systems are not affecting the drinking water in that geography. And there's a really interesting memo that's on the agenda of the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee as well about manure drag lines. Those of us who are in close proximity to the Central Experimental Farm know that manure is laid over the fields in order to fertilize those. In the course of transporting manure in tanker trucks, that can often make a mess of the road, and those tanker trucks as agricultural vehicles are exempt from the half-load restrictions that are intended to protect roads in the shoulder season between winter and summer. Councillor Brown brought a motion asking the city to consider whether or not manure drag lines could be accommodated within the city's regulatory frameworks. So that's a hose and pump system, basically, that you can use to get manure to a lot of different fields without trucking it around in a tanker truck. City staff have come back and said, yes, our rules do accommodate drag lines in city right-of-ways. Fascinating read. I have a link to it in the newsletter. The Finance and Corporate Services Committee is going to meet on Tuesday, May the 6th. They have a relatively light agenda. It will include the 2024 procurement year in review, an overview of 2024 lease financing agreements, the 2025 update to federal and provincial accessibility plans, some routine expropriations that are associated with the Bank Street rebuild that is happening in the south end, kind of Billings Bridge, Heron Road area, and we'll also receive a in-camera briefing on cyber security. There's also an interesting memo again on the agenda of that committee that sets out that or quantifies the amount that the city expects to save on fuel costs associated with the federal government's determination to eliminate the carbon tax. And I'm sorry, I don't have the number in front of me, but I believe it's somewhere around $17 million in carbon tax savings across all those fuel acquisitions that the city makes, both to heat buildings as well as to run our fleet, including OC Transpo. So take a look at that. That memo is on the agenda of the FinCo meeting. That FinCo meeting is going to be on May 6th, and I have a link in the newsletter to that item. Kitchissippi, that's what I had in the newsletter this week. I'm really excited. I hope we're going to see some sunshine over the next few days. It's been a long spring. I'm going home now. I just watched the Ottawa Charge beat the Montreal Victoire in an absolutely thrilling victory. The arena was electric. And of course, this evening, we're all hoping the Sens will stay alive in the first round playoffs. Have a great week, Kitchissippi, and thank you for watching.